So going into Annabelle Comes Home, I had somewhat lowered expectations. Gary Doberman's coming in to direct this movie, and Annabelle 1 was not very good. Annabelle Creation was great, I thought. I thought it was really good. This is now the third Annabelle movie, which is also in the same, of course, the Conjuring Cinematic Universe, but this one's special because the Warrens are the core characters of the movie. Ed and Lorraine do make appearances in this film, but it's not really about them. You know, Patrick Wilson and Vera Farmiga do, of course, appear as their characters, reprising their roles, but McKenna Grace is Judy Warren, the daughter of Ed and Lorraine. She takes the mantle as the primary main character, along with two friends who have to deal with the Annabelle spirit being let loose. Now, going into this film, of course, I felt, like I said, I had lowered expectations, and the reason for that's because, and if you're watching this review and you've seen the other movies in this series, you kind of know what to expect, and that's kind of my whole thing was, how many more of these can they make with the same tropes? Because you're seeing the same movie being made over and over again. Now, when it comes to these movies, the Conjuring films, some of them are good, a couple of them are not that great, they're a couple stinkers, but overall, they kind of have the same formula. With this movie, I felt like it did play to the strengths of what the series needed as far as having really creative scares, because this movie had about 3 or 4 scares that I have never seen before. Now, as far as the movie actually being scary, for me, it really was not. There was a couple of jump scares here and there, not too many of them, but it really wasn't a particularly frightening film whatsoever, but it did have some really creative stuff. A couple of them I did predict, but it did have some pretty creative scares, and of course, it's a movie that isn't, it's got a lot of the same stuff as well. Like, it does have, oh, the flashlight goes out. We've seen that a million times. The foot's being pulled down. We've seen that a million times. You know what I mean? These films, they all kind of feel the same. With this one, though, yes, it had similarities, but like I said before, there are some pretty creative scares. Now, obviously, when it comes to performances, you're going to get good stuff out of Patrick Wilson and Vera Farmiga. We've also got, of course, the other characters played by Katie Sarif, I think her name is, and Madison Eisman, Mary Ellen and Daniela. And the whole storyline kind of involves, Mary Ellen being Judy's babysitter. And of course, it's kind of predictable. You've seen this before. Daniela comes over and starts to mess around with things. Then we find out that Daniela has a whole backstory, this whole situation that happened to her when she was younger, which I'm not going to spoil. And it affects her, and it's the reason as to why she does what she does. Now, I really like that writing. Really enjoyed that writing, and I'll tell you why. Because whenever you have a movie with teenagers as the main characters, they tend to act dumb because a lot of teens do dumb stuff. I know I did dumb stuff when I was a teen, right? With this movie, though, I felt like it was something to where her doing what is considered not very smart, which is playing around with the Warrens, room of doom, as we call it, going in there, touching things you ain't supposed to touch. Yes, that is dumb, but it also is something that they could, that makes sense with what her backstory is. See what I'm saying? Like, what she's seeking answers for something and seeking a certain kind of feeling and trying to just, deal with a certain problem, which again I'm not going to spoil, and that drives her into being curious about the paranormal. That's all I'm going to say about that. Also, one thing this film did do very well is it introduced a lot of new villains for this franchise. There are obviously, we've seen in the past, the nun, of course, Annabelle being a villain too. We've seen, the first movie, Bathsheba, in the first film. Here we have a whole new, and I'm not going to say how, but they introduce a whole new crop of villains that could very easily get their own spin-off movie. One thing they did smart with this one is, and I do think this will be the last Annabelle film, at least I hope it is, they really shouldn't make any more after this. I know The Conjuring 3 is coming out next year, so this movie could be a nice setup over to The Conjuring 3, but again, it's not, I don't think it's as good as the Conjuring films, right? Both of them. It's probably the best. Annabelle Creation is probably a little bit better. It's better than The Nun. It's better than Annabelle 1, in my opinion. And it's definitely better than La Llorona. Yeah, La Llorona was fun when I watched it, but I noticed that other people who don't understand the La Llorona myth either didn't get it or they just didn't like it, which is fine. Now, for me, I understood it. However, that being said, there were a lot of things they left out. The real La Llorona is even more terrifying, I would say. But hey, it's supposed to scare kids, so maybe I'm just being nostalgic here. But anyways, overall, I enjoyed the movie. It's okay. Again, it's one that if you're a fan of this series, if you're a fan of Patrick Wilson and Vera Farmiga, and you like this universe like I do, you're going to go see it. It's like the MCU. Like, if you like the universe, you're going to go see it, you know? And that's what, it seems like a dumb thing to say, but for people who aren't super on board with this, just letting you know, it's a fun movie. Not the best. There are some... It's just not that terrifying at all. They try to do some build-up, but it really did not work. But it is... I was not bored. It was an interesting film. There are some slow parts. It's okay. That is my review. I know everybody on the internet wants to either be happy or be mad. The internet's a very polarizing place. You have to either love something or hate something. And when it comes to Annabelle Comes Home, I feel like I don't hate it, but I don't love it. It was good, but it wasn't great. It was okay. If you're a fan of the series, go see it. If not, maybe there's something else you should go see, like Toy Story 4 or something like that. Again, it's like I said about Toy Story. Like, that movie's making a ton of money in theaters. But, it's crazy that this film comes out a week after Chucky and a week after Toy Story 4. So we've got, like, all these, like, Alive dolls, the movies, like Alive toy movies are like a thing now in the summer of 2019. Kind of a crazy coincidence, right? But anyways, again, I had a good time with it. Wasn't the best, wasn't the scariest at all. It was okay. And I do hope that this means they're going to create more spin-off stories with these new characters they introduced, these new demons or whatever you want to call it, new villains. But at the same time, I kind of don't know if they should or if they will, because I don't know how many more legs this franchise has. I hope it doesn't just keep going and going and going and going and going. If they want to end it with The Conjuring 3 next year, I would be more than happy, because I don't know how many times they can keep telling the same kind of story, the same kind of scares. But again, there were some creative ones here, so it's okay. It's fine. And again, though, they're going to run out of ideas at some point, right? I mean, you assume they would, but who knows? We'll see. Anyways, that's all I have for you today. Thanks for watching. Let me know what you thought about Annabelle Comes Home in the comments, and I will talk to you soon.